I talked about this book at one point in my LGBT books video, but now it deserves its own video because it is just that awesome. This is Tell Me Again How a Crush Should Feel by Sarah Farizan. It is about a girl named Layla who is a closet lesbian, and she won't tell anybody, not her family, not even her best friend, nobody, that she likes girls and not boys. Her parents came from Iran, where nobody is openly gay because they can't be because it's not safe. They even know this other family who excommunicated their son for being gay, basically. So she's terrified of telling her family. There's no way she's gonna tell them. But basically, Layla's two best friends are Greg and Tess. Now, Tess is romantically interested in Greg, but Greg has had a huge crush on Layla for a really long time, and even though she has told him that she does not want to go out with him, he keeps feeling like there's a chance, so he doesn't quite let go of the possibility, because he doesn't know that she's gay, so he still thinks, well, there might be a chance she'll change her mind, I don't know. Throughout this book, you kind of go, well, there's gotta be some, like, this could all be solved if she just tells them, but she doesn't want to. That kind of shows how terrifying it really is to come out. Because even if you know everyone's going to be completely supportive, it's still really, you still don't know. And just that uncertainty is really, really scary. Even though you know when you're reading this book, you know that Layla's two best friends are going to be perfectly accepting of her sexual orientation that she won't tell them about, you can't help feel that you get it, you know? If you've been there, it makes sense. Anyway, things get a little bit more complicated when a new girl comes to Layla's school, and she has a huge crush on this girl right out of the blue, just instantly. She doesn't know if the girl likes her in return or not, and it really seems like she is, but at the same time, she could be getting a lot of false positives, which everyone can relate to, of course. Now, one thing I really like about this book is the first person narrative. It's narrated by Layla, and she is just so funny. Her voice, her narrative voice, is kind of like Cameron in The Miseducation of Cameron Post, or Holden Caulfield in Catcher in the Rye, sort of that wittiness and cleverness. And if you ever watched the cartoon show Doug when you were a kid, she kind of has the same kind of elaborate fantasies that are totally not possible, that Doug does in that cartoon. Like at one point, she's at the dinner table with her family, and she just starts thinking about how she's gonna be like the homeless aunt to her sister's kids one day, and like and her parents are gonna say she should have dated Greg in high school. She should have become a doctor. And then she just kind of wakes up from her daydream and goes, "I don't want to be homeless," out loud. And her parents go, "Wait, what are you talking about? Are you okay?" And another thing I really like about this book too is all the Persian cultural references, because I'm half Persian and I got a lot of it. It's really funny. Kind of like how there's a social gathering that some family is holding, and Layla's mom really wants to go and completely misses the hint that like none of the others want to go. Like Layla doesn't want to go, her dad doesn't want to go, her older sister really doesn't want to go. Okay, one thing I really like about this book as well is the quote-unquote villain, who is so believable for like a contemporary setting. She's about as terrible of a human being as one can possibly be in this setting. Usually in a book that takes place in a high school, you kind of get like the snooty girl who's all popular, and no one who's not popular really likes her at all. But yeah, and she usually has no personality or anything like that, but here we get Saskia, who is actually a really terrible human being. Like, she's cutthroat, manipulative, like, horrible, holy shit. It's also full of really awesome twists. For instance, honestly, when I first started reading this book, I thought that this other girl on the cover was Layla's love interest, and I wondered, like, why she is blonde on the cover when she is described as having dark hair. I realized that this is not her love interest on the cover at all. It's somebody completely different. So all the side characters are really good. All the characters, no matter how insignificant they are in the story, are really well rounded. You can kind of picture what their whole lives must be like from this, even if you don't know that much about them, because they have such great personalities. One really awesome character, for example, is Lisa, Layla's old friend from grade school, who she's not really friends with anymore. Lisa has a brother who died, and she basically, that gives her so much depth as as a character. And at one point she throws a whole party at her house just because she's popular and everyone likes her, but she doesn't even attend her own party. She just kind of sneaks off to the porch and like hides there and just thinks about her brother, basically. Like she doesn't even take part in her own party. That whole part about her deceased brother could have not even been in the story and it wouldn't have changed a lot, but it gives their relationship, like Layla's and Lisa's relationship, a lot more depth, actually, because it shows like how familiar Layla is with her and how she knew the brother and all this stuff. And it also just gives Lisa more to her character that people can identify with. So a lot of the characters are like that. A lot of the characters in this book have complexity to them, and they're not just like flat, um no matter how infrequently they even show up. Seriously, one of my favorite books now. It's definitely like my favorite LGBT book. It's really amazing. And it has a really crazy plot for a book that kind of just takes place among like a bunch of high school kids. Like it's actually a lot more, I don't know, adult than that. If you've read it, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, of course, as always. And if you have any other recommendations for LGBT books that you like, you should leave those in the comments too. And I'll see you next time. Bye.